In this video, we'll demonstrate how you can create a UX component in Alpha Anywhere that very closely resembles the native iOS stock application that ships on iPhones and iPod touches. So you can see here we're in the UX builder and we've got our component definition over here. And now let's switch over to working preview to take a look at this app. So you can see that it looks practically identical to the native iPhone app. You can see here we have a list in the top half of the window that is displaying different stocks, and then for each item in the list we have a button that's either red or green depending on whether the stock is up or down at the moment. And then the button itself can be toggled between three different states. So right now it's showing the dollar change in the stock. Then if you tap on it once, it changes to show the percentage change in the stock, and then tap on it again and then it changes to show the market cap of the stock. So the top window here is showing a scrolling list. You can see our momentum scrolling, and then in the bottom window we have a carousel that is showing a chart, and I can switch between summary information for the stock, and then I can also switch to a list control that is showing news for the stock. So basically when I tap on a different item in the list, you can see now that that makes an Ajax callback, and now we're looking at data for Yahoo. So there's Yahoo's market cap. If I click there to Facebook, then we go now and get data for Facebook. So what's happening is when I click on a row here in the list, an Ajax callback is being made, and then we're using a RESTful web service call to the Yahoo Finance site to extract this information over here. So let's go here back to Facebook and then bring the stock chart back into view, and then you can see that as we tap on different selectors here, we can switch from a 1 year view or a 2 year view, a 6 month view, a 3 month view, a 1 month view, say, or a 1 week view of the data. Then if we make an orientation change, then you can see we switch from the portrait layout to the landscape layout of the component. So this component now, which is, as I said, is a UX component, has been styled to look as close as possible to the iPhone native app, and in fact you can see that we've achieved a look that is practically indistinguishable from the native iPhone app. So let's go back now to the builder and actually see how this component was laid out. So if we go back to the builder, we can see that at the very top level we have a panel navigator over here, and that the panel navigator contains two individual panels. The first panel from there to there has a ID of portrait, and this is the panel that is displayed when the device is in portrait orientation. And the second panel here is displayed, this one has an ID of landscape, is displayed when the device has a landscape orientation. And then we're going to switch automatically from one panel to the other panel on the device orientation change. Then you can see that inside the portrait panel we have another panel layout now, which contains a panel card, which contains a list control, and this panel card, this list control here, is the top part of the screen. So you can see here's the list control in the top half of the screen. Then in the bottom, well actually this is more like the top 2/3 of the screen, and then in the bottom 1/3 of the screen we have a carousel. So let's basically go now and look at how this carousel was defined over there. So in the bottom half of the screen we basically, or the bottom third of the screen, sorry, we have this carousel over here from there to there. And now let's pause and pick this up in the next video where we explain how this carousel is constructed. So we're continuing now to look at how this stock application was constructed in Alpha Anywhere, and now we're looking at the controls that represent the bottom third of the screen. And we can see here we have a carousel, and inside this carousel we have one card, a second card, and then a third card over there, and then we have a footer which contains the buttons on the left and on the right. So if we look again back in working preview mode, you can see there's the footer for that panel, and then here is the if we look over here, here is the first panel card, which is displaying the chart, the second panel card that is displaying a list of news information, and then the third panel card that is displaying the summary information. And you can see also that this carousel here has been set to loop navigate, because when I navigate past the end of the last card, we go back to the first card. So there we go from the we go to the chart, to the news list, to the summary information, and then back to the chart. So let's go back now and take a look at this carousel. So you can see there's the carousel, and we've got loop navigate turned on, and then we can see that the first card over here has some static text in it, and this static text has a table layout which represents the summary data, and you can see that each item in this table has a unique ID, and we're populating this span with an AJAX callback with the real data. Then we have the second item, the second panel, which is the chart, and then in the third panel we have another list control that is displaying the news. So let's just go back now and look at this again. So you can see here that when we go there, this is the chart, here is the list control that is displaying the news, and then here is the summary information, which was the static text table that we showed there, with individual spans for each of these placeholders over here, and then the AJAX callback that takes place when the user clicks on an item in a row is populating these spans in this table over here. So while we haven't gone into too much detail here showing how this was constructed, what we have shown is how the basic structure of this stock application has been built by using the standard control types in the UX component. We've used panel navigators, panel layouts, and panel cards, and the basic structure is actually quite simple. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.